Hello and welcome. My name is Amita Nathwani, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about cilantro or coriander leaves and coriander seeds. I'll be teaching you how to cut, prepare, and store your leaves in the fridge for up to about 10 days so you can continue to use it. In the meantime, I wanted to talk a little bit about the differences between cilantro leaf and coriander leaf. They are actually essentially from the same family, the family of Coriandrum sativum. And although they're grown in different parts of the world, they do have very similar properties. So the cilantro leaf itself is very cooling, and the seed is actually quite heating. However, even though they do come from the same plant, they do have slightly different properties just simply because of the different climate that they are grown in. So cilantro is grown in more of the West, and you'll find it being used in culinary dishes like salsa and in salads and drinks and more cooling types of preparations, whereas the coriander leaf is used more in curries and soups and stews. They're both cooling in their property, but in the East, the coriander leaf is a little bit more pungent, so it just lends to that flavor profile a little bit differently. Now, the coriander seed itself is quite heating, and it cannot be eaten alone. In order to get all the properties that you need from it, you have to either saute it, boil it in water for tea, you can decoct it, and they both have very different medicinal properties as well. So the seeds are actually higher in minerals, and the leaf is actually higher in vitamins. So oftentimes in Ayurvedic medicine, we use the seed so that we can help to stimulate digestion without necessarily creating too much acidity. And we use the leaf to actually cool the system down, as well as using it as a form of chelation therapy, or drawing heavy metals such as mercury and lead out of the system. So join me as I prepare the cilantro leaf and how it can be stored in the fridge up to about 10 days.
So the first thing you want to do after buying a bunch of cilantro or coriander is cut about 2 inches off the stem. That will keep the stem very fresh. Go ahead and put your coriander to the side and prepare your workspace with a tea towel, a cloth, or something that you feel comfortable placing the cilantro on after we wash it under the sink. Use cold water and wash as thoroughly as possible. This should always be done prior to chopping, and that way the cilantro or coriander stays intact. Drain as much of it as you can out, as you'll be laying it flat on your tea towel, so you want to make sure that you give it ample opportunity to dry out. At this point, go ahead and lay the leaves out to dry. It should probably take about an hour, depending upon the climate that you live in. I don't like placing it in the sun. That might discolorate and change the medicinal properties of the cilantro. And so after an hour, go ahead and take out anything that doesn't look like it belongs there, maybe some yellow leaves or any stragglers that might be behind, and go ahead and start preparing so that you can lay down some paper towels, and you can take the leaves and carefully lay them in the paper towel so that you can wrap them up. My mom is very good at doing this. She lays them very vertically and in a linear way. Since my cilantro is already dried, I just go ahead and put them in bunches because chances are I'll be chopping them up later anyway to add as a garnish or to add inside of any of my dishes that I do create. So the key here is that you can go ahead and wrap them up in small bunches or all at once. But in order to keep it fresh, keep it in an airtight container and you can store it in the fridge up to 10 days.